Is Tidal the cool kid in school who nobody knows they're really cool because they don't say anything to anyone about how cool they are? Maybe Jimmy rides a motorcycle. Maybe Jimmy smokes weed. But nobody knows how cool Jimmy is because Jimmy doesn't speak to anybody about what they are. Is that Tidal? Let's find out more on today's episode of Music ID TV. I'm Tuco.
I'm Dave.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing?
Okay, so on today's episode, did Tidal really turn out as bad as we thought it would? And is Tidal the ideal destination for new artists to be, actually? So, on today's episode, we'll be talking about the money on Tidal. We'll be talking about the exposure on Tidal. And we'll also be talking about, are we saying so long to Tidal?
Is it leaving? Is that what's happening?
Are we about to say so long to Tidal?
Is it going away?
We don't know. Some of us might be hoping for that and some of us might be hoping against it. We'll find out more on that after this episode. We'd love to know what you guys think about Tidal after today's episode. Maybe what we think has changed a bit, so let's get into it.
All right, so let's talk about the money on Tidal.
Where's my money?
Because that's a very, very important thing for artists and for just streaming in general. So basically, Tidal's royalty payout is very similar to Spotify and Apple Music, and they pay out an average of 75% of their total revenues to the rights holders, which is pretty much, status quo.
Right.
If I can rehash an old thing that I've said in another episode, because that's what all the streaming services are doing. That pretty much makes sense. Mm-hmm. The Tidal pays out 5 times the amount. So let's make sure we specify with
in their words from Digital Music News.
Digital Music News reported that Tidal pays out 5 times the amount that Spotify would pay. Okay, so basically, what we're talking about is the royalties. And some reports are showing them pay 0.024 to 0.028 per stream. So let's jump into talking about what that means in terms of a dollar. That's 35 to 40 streams. That would equal a dollar. Equal a dollar, not equal a dollar. So I would say that's better. It's better than Apple Music. It's better than Spotify.
Better than Spotify.
Let's be honest, anything's better than Spotify. However, 35 to 40 streams equals a dollar. It's good.
That's pretty good. Tidal has boasted about being the top paying streaming service.
Yes, they have.
I think they've just received some competition from Pandora, but Tidal is already kind of wedged into the streaming service space. Pandora is like a internet radio situation, and they're working their way into on-demand streaming. But in regards to the payout, though, Tidal is kind of kicking its peers, which at this point would be Apple Music and Spotify. SoundCloud, you're trying to get there. We see you. We see you putting.
Yeah.
Pandora, you're trying to come along. You're making some moves and stuff like that. Was it Ticketfly? Ticketfly.
Yes.
They're trying, but Tidal is kind of kicking Apple and Spotify's tushies when it comes to their payout right now.
True, and that's interesting because they're younger. And they have a larger catalog, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
We'll get into that.
Also, another thing to note is that Tidal is not a free tier service. They are only a paid service. They charge $9.99 per month for the basic subscription, and then they charge $19.99 per month for the hi-fi subscription for high fidelity. I think that's the terminology. High fidelity sound, CD quality sound. Now, there are some journalists who have talked about how CD quality sound was looked bad upon by the artists who created music before CDs were a more prominent way to consume music. So this could be a generational thing. I think the whole hi-fi thing, $19.99 per month, not the greatest sell. Because it's such a small sector of people who might care about that thing. And that's $10 more for a very small sector. And I don't know that really appealed to a lot of people.
Right, and I also feel like the term itself, hi-fi, do you think that our generation or generations younger than us are really going to go, oh, wow, they got hi-fi? Nobody knows what the hell hi-fi is, first of all.
We don't know how to compare hi-fi.
Right.
So we don't know.
So the people that are trying and looking for hi-fi are the older generation. So yeah, I guess that would make sense because they are older, so they would have the money to pay $19.99 a month. But if you put 10 people in a room and you say, here's the hi-fi and here's the lo-fi, no one's going to really know what the hell the difference is.
Never mind, this is the doo-doo. This is the real doo-doo.
The first one was definitely the weakest.
3 was the best.
With maybe 3 sounding the best.
So drop it, Tidal.
Give something else with that $19.99 subscription. Maybe exclusive, I guess, first dibs on concert tickets. And then let the rest of Tidal members get the exclusive second dibs on concert tickets. And then let everybody else just get the normal dibs on concert tickets. Something like that. Something that's going to give you a better edge up for paying $20 a month.
Or throw you into a raffle that Jay-Z will show up and, cook you lunch or something.
Those things too. I mean, that does happen on Tidal, but it happens for every Tidal member. They'll get random tickets to stuff and things like that, which is really, really cool.
Amazing.
But I mean, if I'm paying $20 a month, who am I to you? Am I just a hi-fi listening type of guy? I hope I'm more than that, because I am paying $20 a month.
It's a good rhyme, though. It's nice.
Hi-fi type of guy. Also, at the moment right now, Tidal's only been in the streaming service for a little over a year. And they only have 4.2 million paid subscribers currently. In comparison to Apple Music's 15 million, Spotify's 30 million paid, 70 million unpaid, and then 200 million on SoundCloud or something like that. 200 million users or something like that on SoundCloud. Ridiculous. Now we come back to Tidal's 4.2 million, and that's why I'm only saying only. But Tidal did grow from just 500,000 subscribers at its launch under the Tidal name, under new management.
Right, a year ago.
A year ago, they only had 500,000 subscribers. So they've grown immensely since, was that March of 2015?
Yeah.
Kind of got to say kudos, but it is
Well done.
a lot less than your other guys. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing.
As we briefly mentioned before, Tidal definitely beats out Apple and Spotify. Now, do you think I would ever put that in a sentence? Tidal beats out Apple and Spotify. And that is when we are talking about catalog. Now, actually, I just learned this by talking to Tuco because I actually am a Spotify user, and Spotify apparently, and I thought honestly Spotify had everything. And when I meant everything, I would just search and boom, there it is, and it would show up, and from whatever it was, all of a sudden it would show up. That was only 30 million songs in their catalog. Tidal boasts 40 million, which... Sorry, Daniel Eck, but I might actually switch to Tidal. Just to try it. 40 million? Where are you hiding those other 10 million?
Right.
Where are they?
Attributing to that 40 million is the artist himself, who Tidal has the exclusive rights to his catalog, Mr. Prince Roger Nelson. And that within itself, I think, really grew Tidal's valuation, period, especially after losing Prince in 2016.
It's true.
And it just so happened that be the last streaming service, practically internet-based music consumption tool that he actually endorsed.
Right, and that's so interesting because he was so anti-streaming. He was so anti-music industry. He was always pro-artist, trying to find the new and innovative ways to connect with people on a much greater level. And he did a deal with Tidal. Good luck trying to find his music anywhere. Go on YouTube, go on whatever the hell site you want to. Good luck. Unless you live in the vault. Unless you live in the vault in Paisley Park. Yeah, you probably haven't been fed in a while. But you can probably listen to his music there. Other than that, Tidal. That's it.
Interesting. That's where half of telling me. We know Prince has so much music. I don't know if he had 10 million songs.
I don't know if he has 10 million songs. I don't know.
But they definitely have 10 million more than the other guys.
So let's jump to the one thing that I think is incredibly important. You think is incredibly important. And it's really the whole hook behind us thinking that Tidal is the kid that is too cool. And they're, quiet. They're reserved. It's really interesting. Tidal is doing so much for artists and nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about it. I mean, honestly, out there, you've heard of Tidal. You've heard for the hashtag Tidal for All, and I'm sure Kanye has talked about Tidal in lots of different ways. I'm not going to bring those up, but
We'll bring them up. We have some to show you.
yeah, we do have a couple for you. But Tidal Discovery, Tidal Rising, they really are doing things actively. Tidal Rising is something that I recently learned about.
Right.
You recently learned about. It was on their website. What they actually do is they're actually helping artists. So they're seeing who is rising up through the ranks, and then they're saying, hey, you know what? We'll help you fund your tour. We'll
music
help
videos.
we'll fund your music videos. We want you to succeed, so we want to hook you up. And it's not just like funding. I mean, it's actually, we'll connect you with music directors. You know, we'll connect you with the right kind of PR people, the right kind of agencies. That's amazing.
Yes, I definitely
Why
will
aren't they
say
talking about it?
I did the Tidal trial thing, didn't work. My login wasn't working, so I said screw it. Got Tidal the first time it launched. Looked up Aaliyah, because I know a lot of streaming services don't have a lot of her catalog. So I'm like, okay, Tidal's so super artists. And I looked up, they had it just as much as everybody else. They just had age ain't nothing but a number. So I just kind of just brushed it off. Then finally got Tidal about 2 nights ago for this episode. And when I dived into its content, I literally got lost in the content. I was watching the Made in America performances. I'm watching Bryson Tiller. I'm watching SZA. I'm watching Kanye West's fashion show. I'm watching Usher's behind. I'm watching all this stuff. I'm listening to new acts on Tidal Rising, and I'm just consuming it, not just for studying, but I literally had to get back to work. So I will definitely say that Tidal's doing awesome things for not just musicians and artists, but they're doing awesome things for music fans to want to engage in the content, because the content's delivered in a way that it feels like you're at a music store. You feel like I'm at a place towards I'm not going to be interrupted by too many biases that have nothing to do with the art of music and how this stuff wants to be delivered. Even when you go to Tidal Rising webpage, when you go to it, just the artwork for the new artists look clean. It looks crisp. It looks legit. It looks legit. And when I checked out the new artists, I like the new artists.
Right.
As
Exactly.
well. So they're not just doing wonderful things for artists like fun content. They'll do a music video on you. They'll come and do some interview or something like that on you. You can upload your biography. You can upload your social media content. You can upload your music videos on Tidal. It's so many things that they're actually doing for artists, and I will say that the rising artists that I did listen to were pretty good. Yeah. They were good.
That's a testament to their algorithm or their music editors who are actually out there curating the music and knowing what you really want to listen to.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that creates that black hole effect.
Right. And Tidal says that they will actually integrate new music from artists into their exclusive playlist that has exclusive music. They're exclusives. So they're really attempting to reach out. But it's just unfortunate that they're not doing it in a way that we know that Jimmy's kind of cool. He smokes weed and rides a motorcycle. Tidal, we want to know what type of weed you're smoking and what type of motorcycle you drive.
Is it a Honda? Is
Right.
it a Triumph? Is it an
Stop
Indian?
making us think that you get picked up by your parents like everyone else.
You're not.
And you're not telling anybody else about the party, even though you're trying to kind of tell us about this exclusive bid, but that's okay. But this music discovery situation it's a way to pull in so many different aspects of a market that I think is looking for something like this, but just don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, you're helping artists from a ground floor. I mean, you really are. You're saying, hey, I see that people are listening to your music. I see, what countries you are. Let me help you out. And not just in a monetizing way or actually giving them money to fund things, but they actually want to make connections. So may I address Tidal? Tidal, stop talking about hi-fi. I almost said Wi-Fi. Stop talking about Wi-Fi too, but really stop talking about hi-fi.
Hey guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around for part 2 of our episode on Tidal next week.